Yes, we are finally live. My name is Likuyani Eli, and as you know, the Wednesdays we are talking about the ladies. And tonight we take a different route. We talk about the taboo, things that nobody will tell you on a common setting. So when we started all this, we did the bathroom edition, right? For those who remember. And I told you the bathroom is my favorite spot because in the bathroom, which happens to be in my house, is actually my warmest space. And there I get it all free. Nice shower, nice feeling of. And the most important part about my bathroom is I get to sing without caring who is listening to the key because then I'm the star on the top of the hour. Then I look at it differently. When you go out, after a nice meal in a sitting, you tell yourself, I need to take some fresh air. Cindy, you do that, right? And that's the time you want space because probably you need to, easy out some, uncomfort in your belly. But then again, there is the other side, the secret side, where behind closed doors, a lot of stuff happen. And my question is, what is this that is happening that we've decided not to talk about it because it's supposed to be a taboo? My guest, and of course, panelist, Nyokabi Kamau tells me it is the Victoria Falls secrets. Nyokabi Kamau, good evening.
Good evening, Ellie. How
How
are
are you?
you?
I'm
I'm
great.
fine,
I'm
thank
great.
you.
Long time no see.
Long time no see. I'm so excited. I'm on fire.
I hope it's not the fire I'm thinking because we're gonna have some Zimamoto over here.
It could be that fire. You never
Yeah,
know.
you never
Could be that
know.
fire. You never
You never
know.
know because at the end of the day, it's
Yes.
about making the fingers do the walking. Sorry, is it
Mm-hmm.
the talking?
It's the walking. It's the
Drum rolls. And but I'm told I'm not the only one who wants to talk about stuff because you've been a very naughty girl. Somebody wants to
I
put some
have.
manners into you. Catherine Osita in Kakamega, Kenya. Good evening.
Good evening, Ellie. How are you?
How are you, my dear? And how is Kakamega Ingo?
Kakamega is doing fine. Vua mingi. We can
Mm,
share some with you people.
I love the rain. When I was born, I was told it was during the times of the rains, July. But I still don't think I'm a July baby because I probably arrived in July, but I wasn't created then. But let's get into it. Masturbation in women. Nyokabi Kamau. What is happening? Why are you ladies too seriously damaging the factories?
Which factories? We are not damaging any factories, Lukuyani. We are just discovering ourselves,
Mm-hmm,
discovering our bodies,
mm-hmm,
discovering our pleasure points, discovering what makes us feel good.
mm-hmm.
You've discovered that it's not just about thrashing and penetration. There's more to life than just thrashing and penetration. There's
Okay.
more joy,
Mm-hmm,
and you can
mm-hmm,
only make these self-discoveries if take an
mm-hmm.
adventure with yourself.
Advent
Take yourself for a holiday.
holiday. Okay, okay.
Yes.
I'm not planning to go on holiday right now, but let's just find out if Catherine thinks it's all about holiday. Catherine, what is your perspective about the holiday makers?
So, according to my perspective,
Yeah.
and because I work with the adolescent girls and also with a community that really don't want to talk about these controversial issues, the cultures that we live in and the beliefs that we live in or the beliefs that we believe in take masturbation as a sin. So I'll talk on behalf of the girls who are in the rural Kakamega who don't know what is this, and they go to church and they are told this is a sin. So to them, they know this is a sin.
Mm-hmm,
And telling them is pleasure, is something so nice. They
mm-hmm,
feel no. Somebody's saying no, you're giving these girls bad morals.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Catherine. I was when you talked about sin, I was supposed to start singing. Adamu na Hawa walitenda dhambi za siri, tunda walokatazwa wasile walikula. So is it about this siri and series behind, behind the scenes? So let me start with Nyokabi. Is it really needed to discuss about masturbation, especially in women? Nyokabi, you can take ahead.
Oh, I was waiting for you to unmute my mic, Ellie.
The problem is, you talked about pleasure, then I got excited and I was wondering what is happening here, and then I'm there, I'm just feeling aire. But meanwhile, guys, do tag your friend, especially the ladies, and of course, if you have your partner by your side, bring them on because they need to learn a little bit few things here and there. Usikae hapa peke yako umezubaa hivi because this is about to get on fire. Let's go fire, Lady Nyokabi.
Let me first talk about the shame that is associated with sex. Like Catherine was sharing, there's so much shame that is attached to sex, let alone masturbation. So because we are an African community, we are cultured some type of way. We have our code of ethics, we have our morals, we have our way of understanding life. And sex is one of the taboos. We are not allowed to talk about it, leave alone now masturbation, what we are talking about. So we have a generation of people who aren't allowed to masturbate. And I remember one time I was in a wedding, and the preacher was ministering and he was talking about how important it is for a woman to take care of her husband sexually. And he cracked a joke early and he said that the most funny thing about sex is the one thing that you're taught not to do since you're a small girl. And then when you get married, everybody is telling you, go ahead and do that bad thing. So this thing, it's so bad, but it's reserved for the married people. You wonder why it's reserved for the married people. And it's so bad. And the fact that people have shamed it, they have made people to be so curious. They are online on social media trying to Google and to find out what is this thing that is so bad. And then you realize it is so good and so enjoyable. And as I get onto that point, the people who are not supposed to enjoy sex in our society, in our African community, are the women. And that's why they used to be. Yes. Why are you giving me that look of like, hey? Yes.
Nasemanga, baby, are you almost? Can you delay?
No. Women are not expected to enjoy sex, and that is why, first of all, there used to be circumcision for women. They would remove the clitoris so that this woman does not enjoy pleasure. In the African community, the woman is supposed to have sex for recreation purposes, to give birth, to get pregnant and give birth. Mambo yati, oh God, and cloring your fingers was not part of the African culture. So here we are, Ellie, talking about masturbation in women, and we are trying to enlighten women who've been married for 10 years, 15 years, 30 years, and they have never discovered an orgasm. They have never experienced sex for pleasure. Those are the ones who say, Maliza haraka unifunike, or, we want it again. And they don't know that you can actually, the area can lubricate itself naturally, that sex does not have to be painful, that sex doesn't have to be an endurance. It's supposed to be something that is enjoyable, that is good for your body, that is amazing for your hormones, Ellie, that makes you feel nice and gives you a good mood. But because we have shamed it and
I didn't yet get there. I'm just having a good mood. It's because the topic is having a nice, interesting part. But you mentioned about the fact that we even have FGM happening. And I think this is an area that Catherine is in it. Just before we lay base, I quickly want to bring in Catherine and find out, Catherine, elimination of this important part of Miss Victoria Falls, does it affect the sexual life of a woman?
Really? It's they do, the people who cut that part of Miss Victoria, let me tell you, they do, like, they put these women down. They remove the sweetest part of women's body. I don't know whether they know about that, because women who are here watching us, they can testify to us. Without that thing, you will not enjoy anything. Totally, you will not enjoy anything. So it should not be removed. But now, when we go back to our cultures, whereby they want a woman to stay like a whole year without complaining about, oh, my man, amenda wapi, oh, where is my husband? They will remove it to make the woman not to have that urge of having her husband. And that is why you could see long time ago, like, let me take a community like the Maasai community, yeah? Men could go hunting and leaving women behind, and women are left behind alone, and the men will still come back to these women, and the women have not even moved around to go and get pleasure anywhere else, because that part that makes them feel they want it is not there. So me, I will say they're not doing good.
Great. So,
Yes.
Nyokabi was just taking us there, and I decided to take it easy because I want everybody to listen to this. So, guys, as you continue sharing the link to the rest of your friends who need to listen to this, kindly do that, and remember to tag a friend and ask the friend to tag a friend, because Nyokabi is about to get to level 3 of the Tetris level. So, Nyokabi, let's do this again. Back to the most important part, where everything begins. So, why do you think a woman should actually masturbate?
The first reason that a woman needs to masturbate is to relieve yourself of the sexual tension. And it might surprise men that women also have sexual tension. Yes, we do. We also feel horny. We also feel the need to be intimate with somebody. And it happens at a particular time of the month in a woman's cycle. It happens, some experience.
Give me a tip so that I can just be looking and say, "Hapa kameiva." Please.
I was just
I
about
want to
give you the
learn.
tip.
Yes.
I was just about to give you the tip. Mostly, there is a time during the cycle of a woman that a woman is very fertile. A woman has 28 days. A normal woman should have 28 days of cycle. When I mean 28 days, it means from day 1 of the first drop of their menses to the last day. And then from there, you count now all the way to 28 days. Now, this woman, the week before their menses, they experience there's a lot of production of sexual hormones, right? Because the body is getting ready to receive a baby, to carry a baby. So the body itself is excited and it's ready for intimacy, right? So during the week after their menses, women are very horny. The midweek, that is day 12, day 13, day 14, day 15, and day 16, women are also very horny, because at that time, that's when they have released their eggs, and the eggs are in the fallopian tubes waiting to be fertilized. So they are on heat. Let me put it that way. They are on heat. When a woman has a balanced hormone, when their body is very well balanced, their hormones are very well balanced, they can tell that they are on heat. In fact, the clit, you feel it like this. You're sitting in a meeting and it seems like it's doing something.
Anatetemeka,
It seems
anatetemeka, Nyokabi akiniona. Sorry.
you can feel like blood is, it's going down there, and you can almost feel. So you can feel the horniness, especially if your hormones are at a good level. The hormones are balanced, the hormones are good. So you're producing the right hormones at the right time. So this woman experiences horniness. When this woman is about to start their menses, again, that is another window of a period that they are also very, very, very horny and desire to be intimate with their partners. So I've given you 3 times, Ellie. I've given you the first time is just a week after their menses, right? The mid part of it, from day 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, that's the part where they are most horny, because they are fertile. In fact, they're on heat. They want to get laid. Are you together, gentlemen? Right? And
I'm
the
there
last one,
representing them.
yes, and the last week is when they're just about to start their menses, you'll find 2-3 days at that time a woman is very horny and needs to be touched and needs to feel some type of way. But men need to be careful with these seasons, because sometimes some areas are very sensitive and they can be a bit painful. Like just the week just before the menses, if your hormones are not at a good level, you experience painful nipples, you don't want them to be touched, but you still want to be intimate with your partner. So it's for your partner to be alert and sensitive during that time. And this is the time that you will find women masturbate mostly, because they are feeling that sexual tension. They are feeling that need to be intimate. And sometimes the men that you are married to, unfortunately, or the men that we are dating, they are not able to get you to that level. Why? Because
Hi,
men think
blood of
it's
Jesus.
Ellie, we are here to talk about these things. Why? Because men think that
I'm
sex is like
sad.
riding a
You know
bicycle.
why
When
I'm
you know,
sad?
you know.
No,
No, no,
I'm
no.
sad. Nyokabi, wait, I'm sad because I thought I would just taken my lessons correctly until you said that we do not even recognize the signs and symptoms of a fertile
Yes,
ground. And
yes.
I'm here wondering, Kumbe hiyo wakati wote nani huwa anapotea kwa bedroom, huwa ameenda kutengeneza sheria. So Catherine, tunyonge tusinyonge? Tunyonge tusinyonge? Tuanzie hapo kwanza as we continue. Well,
Unaweza
maybe
nyonga.
let me rephrase so that I don't sound like I'm attacking. Ladies are asking, wanyonge wasinyonge? Nikisema tu, I'm including also the men, but for tonight it's the
Yes.
ladies night, so let's tushughulikie akina dada. Wanyonge wasinyonge? Kwa sababu tension imezidi. Mr. Man yuko tu, is not even hitting drop, drop zone hafiki. So kunyonga, is it a solution?
Okay. Kwa upande wa health, kunyonga pia ni solution. Mimi naweza sema ukisikia kunyonga, unanyonga. Ukisikia kunyonga, unanyonga. Only that watu wengine huwa, people don't understand why sometimes tunajinyonga. Unaelewa? Hawaelewi. Ukinyonga wanakuita majina, wanakuweka kwa kategori fulani, wewe unakuwa mtu mbaya, but kunyonga si vibaya. Only that tunanyonga wakati wa umri mgani? Because kumbuka nilisema I'm going to speak on behalf of the adolescent girls. Ningependa Nyokabi tukiendelea kuongea unisaidie. The adolescent, yeah? The adolescent girls or the teenagers. Let me just say 12 to 19 years. Wanakubaliwa kunyonga pia?
We are creating sexual awareness because tusipowaruhusu, they are going to do it either way. So we might as well guide them on how to do it and do it the right way. So I say we don't say wasinyonge or they don't participate, because if we don't, we are going to create, ni kama ukiambia mtoto usikule sukari, at the end of the day atakula kwa sababu ulimwambia asikule. But if you create the education and you enlighten them, then they know how to do it the right way and to do it safely. That is my point of view. Yes.
Ngoja Catherine, ngoja kwanza. Take
Okay.
two, sema hiyo kitu. Take two yenye ulikuwa unataka kusema. Nimeona umekasirika, so nimekupea nafasi ujiredeem. Bonga points, endelea.
So the challenge that we tuna face when we are talking about sexual pleasure when it comes to the adolescent or the teenagers is most of the people tell us we are telling them too much, and the information we are giving them, they are using it vibaya. So that is why you'll find maybe girls in a secondary school, they tell to be lesbians, or the boys will turn to be, the homosexuals. So we wonder, the information we are giving them, is it a right information? Is it a wrong information? Because the society also tells us, the more we talk about issues of comprehensive sexuality education, because it is part of that, then we are telling these girls and boys a lot of information. Is it true?
I want just to answer you, Catherine. I want to say that when it comes to sex education, it is important that parents understand that sex education is like creating awareness of alcohol. I want to give you an example of a study that was done. There was a time that there was a lot of awareness of the use of drugs in a certain country. So whenever they would go online or whenever they would go anywhere, they were being sensitized on the use of drugs. And they were being told, when you use drugs, you can become addicted. When you use this type of drugs, this can happen to you. What happened is people reduced the consumption of these hard drugs and they focused on alcohol. So they would take alcohol and not associate alcohol as a drug, because when the sensitization was being done, alcohol was not included as a drug. So the teenagers and the youths ran away from the hard drugs and they joined taking alcohol. And as a result, what ended up happening, instead of these children dying from alcohol, from drug abuse, their addictions and overdosing, they ended up dying on road accidents because they were so drunk, they were getting into road accidents. What is my point, Catherine? When you educate a girl and you empower her and you inform her of her sexuality, whenever I do trainings with young girls in schools, I tell them it is important that you understand you as a woman, who you are. What is your sexuality? What is your orientation with sex? What do you understand sex to be? What does it mean to you as a person? And then you explain it to them. From this particular day to this particular day, you're feeling this way because you're normal or because your body is desiring to be intimate with somebody. What you're doing, you're not just giving information, you are empowering this person so that even when they decide to be with somebody, at that particular time, they know they can easily get pregnant because they understand that they are fertile at that particular time. When you give them an alternative, instead of being intimate with a particular person, you can actually pleasure yourself and relieve yourself of that sexual tension and not put yourself at a position where you can conceive or you can get a sexually transmitted infection. You have empowered this person. What they do with that information is really up to them. Is when we talk about sex, people want to stigmatize sex and say, oh, sex is demonic, sex is that. You know, early from the group we were discussing sexual health, somebody told me that masturbation is demonic and I should not be advocating for masturbation. And I asked them, which demon in the Bible talks about which demon? Where we
Ngoja
demonize?
kwanza, ngoja kwanza. Wewe kama
Yes,
advocate, you know they say where I come from,
yes,
if you want the best advice about
yes,
how not to be an alcoholic,
yes.
don't go to a doctor. Tafuta
You
mlevi.
go,
Pia
yes,
pia wewe unafanyanga hii kitu.
yeah.
Okay. I'll hold you to that. You don't have to answer for now.
No,
Nitakujia jibu
I'm
yako.
not afraid to answer Ellie, of course, because I'm a human being.
Team natural,
Yes, I'm a human
self-made.
being. I don't do it alone. I also involve my husband in it. We do it
Mm.
together.
Okay.
We are
That's
human beings.
actually where I want to go in your cabi, because I
Yes,
want to understand. We might talk about this topic on an easy format, but there are people
yes,
who actually do not understand the right way to do it. So
yes.
as we try to discover the Victoria Falls, yeah,
Mm,
and for this case, you know what I mean by Victoria Falls. I'm not talking
yes,
about Victor. Victor is the other guy that comes to visit Victoria when the planet is ripe for, whatever it has to be. But as we
yes,
discover Victoria Falls, are there some levels of the ground floor you have to go to find whatever gear level and then engage? And how is it supposed to be done, including the hygienic part of it? Twende kazi.
Ellie, I
Yes.
forgot. I have a dummy. Give me a minute. Can you ask that?
Wende a dummy.
I
Wende
get
a
a dummy.
dummy. Meanwhile, Catherine is liking this. And Catherine, just
Yes.
that people understand why you are here with us, I
Mhm.
want you to tell me something about, adolescents. Huh?
Uh-huh.
Because
Uh-huh.
Nyokabi is coming to bring it. Do you think they learn this at that age, or where do they learn it? Hold on that thought, because you are going to answer this, because we want Nyokabi first to tell us, where does the pleasure points love or
Mhm.
rather fall from?
Yeah.
Nyokabi,
Okay.
umetafuta
I'm
kitu
back
itanishitua. And by the
and I
way,
brought my
this
toy.
this is only for persons over the age of 18. In case you are a parent, kindly
Viewer
warn your
discretion
daughter
is
for
advised.
us. Viewers' discretion is advised. And whatever Nyokabi is going to perform here shall not be held liable to Ellie. I'm just here to pass the information. I'm a mouthpiece. Kindly share this cast. Wacha tujifunze the mnyongo points. Twende kazi.
So Ellie, with me here, I have an example of how a woman's where is this camera? Of
Yes.
how a woman's
Pull it a little bit behind ndio tuione vizuri. A little bit behind.
yeah,
Pale. Ehe.
yes. So I have an example of how a normal woman's vagina looks like. So
Mhm.
it's just a dummy, ideally, of what
Mhm.
it should look like. So this is
Yeah.
what it looked like, and we are going to use this as our clitoris. This particular point here is what we are going to use as our clit. This point, this one, this one.
It
This
has to
is
be
what
softly touched.
yes,
Hapana
we are
makucha.
going to use this. Yes, hakuna makucha. We are going to use this as our external
Is about to
points.
get to
We have the
level
hips.
3 of the Tetris
Yes,
level. Nyokabi,
yes,
let's do this again.
and then we are going to
Somebody, go ahead. I had an
use
interruption.
this
Sorry.
part to illustrate, to use it like it's part of our vagina. And as you can see, I don't know if you can be able to see Ellie. Mine
Yes.
has some parts that seem a bit like have some rubbers, because that's how soft or how the vagina is on the inside. So we'll use this to illustrate the inside of the vagina.
Let me have a closer look. Unajua Nyokabi unanichezea Tetris hapa. Twende. Uh-huh.
Sasa, and then we'll use this as this point, this one as our clitoris, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing that we need to note as a woman is that this is a very sensitive part of your body. Number one, it's very private, and it is also a very sensitive part of your body. So the first thing that you need to do is to prepare yourself to handle it with care and with love. And when you, as a person, when you handle it with care, with love, the people who you allow to access this, the people who you allow to access this very private part of yourself, you will force them to handle it with care and with love because you know how to handle it with love, with care. So you cannot give
Ah,
what you don't have.
are you telling me what I'm thinking?
Yes.
Okay, endelea. Let me not talk for you. Let me not talk for.
So this is your vagina. The first thing we are going to do, because we are either going to use our hands or we are going to use an instrument, the first thing that we are going to do is to make sure that our hands are clean. Ladies, ensure that your hands are clean. Don't be in the club and you're feeling horny and you're feeling high and you're there in the toilet trying to make yourself experience the orgasm so that you can relieve yourself the sexual tension. Ensure that your hands are clean. That's number one. Especially if you keep very long nails, ensure that your hands are clean. You don't want to introduce bacteria into this area because you are more prone to experience yeast infections, all kinds of infections from dirty hands. Again, make sure your nails are very well filed because again, it's a very sensitive area. You can easily cause cuttings, you can easily cause a lot of things. So you have to make sure that your hands are clean. If your nails are not well filed, it is important that you wear gloves. Gloves will help you to manage this area properly. The other thing that you
Yaani
need,
Nyokabi, wait,
yes,
tumevaa masks kwa
yes,
sababu ya corona. Sasa you are trying to tell us mask
yes,
haitoshi. We now
yes,
have to wear gloves. Ndio
yes.
tushike. Okay, tuendelee.
Ndio mshike
Sorry.
hii area. These things are sensitive. These things are important, bana. For women, it's not the same as for men. Yours is external, ours is internal. That's
Ah,
the difference. For
okay.
women, it's more internal than it is external. So being that it's internal, it's accessing your inner being as a person. So it's very important that you take very good care of this particular part of your body. So I want to flip it because the clit is normally here at the top or at the beginning. So if you want to pleasure yourself or to experience an orgasm as a woman, you first of all need to understand this particular part of your body, which is your vagina. And the vagina is the inner bit of yourself, not the outer part. So the outer part, we'll call it Victoria. So, I was about to call it what it's normally called.
Ah, we sema saizi tumepita hiyo time. Mtu amelala.
Tutafungiwa show early.
Mtu
So
amelala.
we'll call it a pussycat. So when I say pussycat, the gentlemen know what it is.
Mm.
So what you want to do in order to pleasure yourself, what we are learning is masturbation in women, is you want to focus on this particular area, the outward part of the clitoris, not directly. You don't want to start with directly stimulating the clit. You want to start on the outer part of the clitoris. Gentlemen, gather here. You're the horriblest of all in this thing. So you want to start with the outer part of it just to build up the sexual tension, just to build up and get you there, to get you to that place. If you're not experiencing any wetness, because the wetness is what you're supposed to use to help you move more easily, then you can use a lubricant to start with. You can use a lubricant. But if you're horny, you're masturbating because you're horny. You're not masturbating because you're bored and idle. You're masturbating because you're feeling a sexual tension within yourself that you need to relieve. And that's a caution I'm creating. You don't masturbate because you're bored and lonely. You masturbate because you're horny and you need to relieve the sexual tension. So wetness will come to you easily at this point. So here we are. We want to start with the outer part or the lips of that cover the clitoris. So you want to stimulate this area and stimulate it very quite. You'll figure out as you move along which part of yours is more sensitive. So you don't focus on the part that is more sensitive because you want to build up the sexual tension. You want to keep building up. So don't be in a hurry to and ejaculate quickly. Take your time with it and enjoy your time. Set time aside for self-care and self-love, So here we are stimulating this particular area outside of the clitoris. Once in a while, you can pass by and check whether it's still there and allow that tension to build up. These other areas are also to some women, they can be very pleasurable. To some women, it can be very unpleasurable. So you need to know yourself even as you do this as a person. So we are stimulating these areas of the outside. Once in a while, we can come and pass by the clitoris and still move back to the outward part. The more pleasure you get, the lesser pressure you put because you want to come slowly. You want to experience the
Hebu
orgasm
endelea.
slowly.
Now, I know this can take forever. But because
Yes.
we have to work within the confines of time,
Mm.
assuming Nairobi is where we are headed,
Yes.
tuko Kimende, nionyeshe
Ehe.
Kimende ni wapi hapo na Nairobi ni wapi tena?
Wacha tuseme Kimende iko hapa chini kidogo, Nairobi iko hapa. This
Hapo
is
ndio
where
the
we
gold
want.
point. The
That's
gold
where
point.
the good point is. So
Okay.
I want to note on this part, there are women who enjoy direct stimulation on the clitoris. There are women who do not. So those who do not, you want to put your fingers like this, and this is how you want to stimulate, because you don't want the direct stimulation of the clit. So then again, if you don't mind the direct stimulation, you can stimulate it like this. It's directly touching the clitoris and you're working on it. So there are motions that I'm going to teach you that you can variate to help you experience more pleasure. So there's up and down, up and down. This is the most common one. You normally see it being done by porn stars. Msijifanye ati I'm watching pornography. This is the most common one that people know and men know. The up and down one, up and down one, up and down one. That normally happens during play. So you can also variate by turning it and going in a circular motion. So you can variate circular, up and down, circular, up and down. The point is to variate. If you don't mind a little bit of tapping, you can tap just to relieve the pressure kidogo. See vita Ellie,
Kam,
be gentle.
sasa si ndio najifunza. Yaani I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to learn. So I'm don't try this on camera. Try this at home. Tuendelee.
Try this at home on your own, in your own space. You want your privacy, close your curtains, put on some light candles, scent the room, and just have a very romantic time by yourself, enjoying this moment. So you can go up and down, circular motion. You can tap a bit. You can do the clip motion. It's like a peg. You clip it like this, and there we are. So we are stimulating again up and down. You can also do round and round just to stimulate that area until the tension has built up. In case you haven't noticed, Ellie, I have not gone down to this very sensitive part.
I have noticed with a lot of concern.
Yes, because this pleasure point is very different for women. There are some women who don't mind when you put your fingers inside and you try to kind of give them an orgasm by trying to touch the G spot. There are women who do not enjoy that pleasure,
So
right? So
tupe
it's
kulingana na utafiti wako, kasema kama daktari wa
yes,
hii maneno. Average
cooling.
tuchezee wapi? Tuchezee outside ama tuende deep sea?
Tuchezee outside sana sana kuliko
Tuchezee
kuchezea
outside sana
inside.
sana.
Tuchezee
Okay.
outside so that we focus on this part, because even the orgasm itself will not come from it will come from this part. It will
Okay.
come from the
So
clitoris
are you trying
area.
to disqualify the notion, which we had an interesting discussion yesterday with the men in the den, and everybody was accusing us of having smaller fingers of God.
Yes,
So tukichezea hapa juu na tucheze badminton vizuri, we are okay.
you're okay. Your
Okay.
woman will experience
Men,
orgasm.
including some of us who are watching and have been very, very,
My
uh,
my
you
M-Pesa
know,
number is 07.
yeah, we will give. Please, not with a lot of concern. Kuanzia leo, somebody should not disqualify you by the height of Mount Everest, because
Yes,
whatever happens, it is not deep sea. Samaki
there's
wenyewe
no
wanajileta ufuoni, wewe tu ni kuchukua ukiweka kwa mdomo.
And let me, on that note, Ellie, let me say that the G spot of the woman is very near. It's actually here. So
Ah,
it's not so far away. So you don't need a big one to
so
access
what
the
is
G
wrong
spot of
with
the
you
woman.
people who keep saying deeper and faster? Where do you want us to go?
Because that woman who is saying deeper and faster, they do not know where their G spot is at. The G spot
Ah,
position is easy to locate with how you position
kumbe ni
yourself
maamachas
as
wamewatch
a
movie
woman.
mingi sana amachas. Let me bring another person who teaches amateurs. Hold on that thought, Nyakabi, as we hold
Thank
on
you.
it. Let me bring in Catherine, who has been really sheepishly smiling because I think she likes the topic. Let me just find out, Catherine, where
Yes.
you seem interested in young people's sexual health,
Yeah.
but we are discussing about an average discussion that will feature adults. So
Mm-hmm.
Nyokabi has said usipowafunza watajifunza vibaya. But do you
Mm-hmm.
still hold the same thought, especially for adolescents, that badala ya kwenda kutafuta kina Joni na kina Voke wajitibu? Don't this expose them to some manners that society calls uncouth?
Mm-hmm. Uh, I've just been watching what Nyokabi has been doing, and I was just like smiling. Okay, Nyokabi is saying everything. It's correct. It's right, correctly right to any woman to do that, and it's okay for a woman to get pleasure, like to make herself get pleasure. But now, with me, when it comes to adolescent, on how we can make them enjoy the way other women who are in their sexual what did I say, the women who are in their sexual who are active, yeah, who
Sexually
are
active.
sexually active, yeah, who are sexually active do it's so hard for these women, these girls who are in the rural areas in Kenya, who are living with families. One room has several people living with her, and maybe she has a parent who cannot even allow her even to, even tell her that I have a boyfriend. And when we come in and we try to talk to them, you'll find societies have a lot of myths and misconception when it comes to the issues of sex. The way we just said at the beginning when we started saying about issues of what about how the society takes sex. So you find these girls, yes, we allow them, we tell them it is good to masturbate. But the problem is most of them have the myths of, if today I masturbate, then I'm going to be a promiscuous person. Like maybe it will make me have that habit. Tunaita kuzoea, addictive. It will be addictive. So others say it will be addictive. Now I'll not be able to control myself. Others say I'll be attracted to girls because I'm doing it myself. How can I handle this? So it becomes a very controversial topic to talking to the girls and making them understand that it's something that they should enjoy. So maybe in your Nyokabi, I'm assuming, assume the people who are watching and listening to us, they are 14, 15 years, and you want to talk to them about issues of sexual pleasure and how to masturbate. How can you bring their mind together to tell them that it is just for enjoyment and not making them being addictive at their age?
Thank you so much, Catherine. That's a very beautiful question that you have asked. I like that you have asked that. And I want to say everything that too much of anything is addictive. Too much of anything is dangerous. If you eat too much food, you'll be overweight. If you eat too much of the right food, you'll still be overweight because too much of anything is addictive, right? The same concept that we apply to alcoholism, to drug abuse, to relationship, careless dating, and careless interactions with people, they will result to addiction. So with masturbation, and I'm talking to teenagers, the first thing that I do is create that question at the back of their mind. And that's why I say you don't do it because you're bored and you're idle. You do it because you're feeling horny, you're feeling some type of way, and you need to relieve that tension. And may I create a question to the 14-year-olds and the 15-year-olds? Sometimes you might think by going to a boy to have a sexual relationship with this person, it will relieve that horniness. It will not, because that sexual tension is relieved by you experiencing an orgasm. And in most cases, because you're sneaking around and you're hiding around and you're exposing yourself, you're risking your life to sexually transmitted infections, you're exposing yourself to teen pregnancy, you end up not actually enjoying the act itself. Huyu mtu hata hajajua bado, he doesn't even know how to have a proper hard on, he doesn't even know how to penetrate the woman the right way, so he's still experimenting and he's introducing you to sex the wrong way. So those 3 seconds, they're not worth it, because number one, you'll not experience the orgasm you're looking for, so tomorrow you'll still be feeling that horniness that took you there in the first place. Secondly, you have exposed yourself to STIs, you have exposed yourself to teen pregnancy, and you still did not achieve the orgasm that you want to experience. So the first thing that you want to do, Catherine, is to let these girls know that it's okay to feel the way you're feeling. It is not supposed to be stigmatized. It is not supposed to be something that you should be ashamed of. It is not supposed to be something that you're afraid of. It is something that you should embrace and accept about yourself. So when you accept that and you embrace it about yourself, you're more likely to deal with it better. You mentioned about lesbianism, and at the beginning of the show, I talked about sexual orientation. right? What is your sexual orientation? The reason why there's rapid or lesbianism in schools is because these girls are actually experimenting and trying to figure out what feels good, what feels right. And they're also looking at social media, and there's this hype for lesbianism, this hype for gayism, this hype for transgender sexuality. This orientation of sex is changing the normal understanding of it. So you're here, somebody is giving you pleasure that is unfamiliar to you. You're experiencing this for the first time. You've been with a boy and they have never made you feel that way. So you're thinking, hi, so I'm a lesbian because this girl makes me feel this way. And sometimes girls who find themselves as lesbian is because they have experienced a sexual act they have never experienced before, because they haven't discovered it themselves, right? So in fact, when we are teaching them about their sexual orientation, we are at the same time protecting them from being exposed to sex the wrong way. Hence, the whole concept behind educate, create awareness, let these girls know why they're feeling the way they're feeling, which hormone is causing them to feel that way, what does it mean when they feel that way at that particular time, what are the risks that they are taking, and knowledge is power. The white man say that knowledge is power. Can I challenge you, Catherine, because I'm a relationship coach? I do a lot of counseling with couples, and I meet couples who have met, who have been married for 15 years and 20 years. And this woman has been with this man for that long, and they have sex 2-3 times a week, and she has never experienced orgasm. She doesn't know that there's even pleasure at the clitoris. She gets shocked at the hair. This happens, and you're thinking, my goodness, why? Because they have never discovered themselves. And these are the women, when they start going out with younger men, they leave their marriages. Sasa nashindwa huyu mzee tunasumbuliana nini? You know, but if you go on a self-discovery journey and you are aware of your body and you understand your sexuality and you know who you are, you know where you want to be touched, you know how good it feels, then you are empowered, you're strengthened, you know what you want, you know what you don't want. So when you are with this man, you tell him, try and move up and down the tricycle, put up kidogo to whether it is working, and it even becomes more enjoyable as a couple. So yes, I agree with you. These teenagers need to know. The issue of privacy, you mentioned that they live in a small room where there are no families. You see, these girls, because they live in small rooms, it doesn't mean that they're not getting pregnant. In fact, girls, sorry to say, from the lower part of the classes of life, they are the ones who get pregnant mostly. Huko kwenye mnaendanga to get pregnant, that space, use it to pleasure yourself away from the boy child. That space, because when you want to do something as a teenager, you can be very clever and very creative about it, right? So use that space where unaendanga kujificha unafanya hivyo na nani, that place, use it to experience that orgasm for yourself and relieve that sexual tension, and you'll be fine. And by the way, may I tell you something, Ellie? When a woman experiences the orgasm, that horniness comes to an end.
Ah,
Yes,
nyokabi,
yes, it comes to
nyokabi.
an end. Yes, Ellie, kwa nini umesagaa?
Niko nataka kusema lakini wacha nimwache Catherine ajibu alafu I come in because I want us
Yes,
to talk about these ones that actually live far away from their spouses, especially hawa wasichana wetu tulituma huko Gulf. I'm
yes.
told they have turned taps into bay. Unaona hizi mifereji za Waarabu, they have become bay. How dangerous
Yes.
is that? So before that, let's have Catherine.
Really enjoying this discussion today. Nyokabi, uko tu poa. So this part here, the girls kwenye wanaendanga. You know, the problem with our girls, maybe
Yes.
we can differentiate between the rural girl and the urban girl. Remember, we have the rural urban and we have the rural kabisa ndani, the interior, where these girls don't have even information. Like, they rely on people like us, people who have a small organization like community-based organization, to talk to them. Because when you tell this girl to go to somewhere else or where they go as girls, they don't have these places. They don't have totally. The people that make these girls pregnant, most of them are the boys or the men who cheat them. So most of these girls hata kuwaambia tu waoge, they don't know even kuoga vizuri ni kuoga aje, they don't know. So these are the girls that I'm talking about, that we have to talk about issues of masturbation with them. So you find when we start talking about issues of masturbation, yes we do, but for them embracing this information, plus the cultures where they are coming from, plus the religion that they are in, following their parents' footsteps, it inawachanganya. And remember, the adolescents wanakwanga wamechanganyikiwa because they are still understanding their body. So this is where the problem comes in, when we talk about issues of masturbation and they use that information wrongly, and others even get confused and wonder, what should I discover about my body? Because we always tell them even to mention or to name part of their body, the private parts. Clitoral iko wapi, the lumbia ziko wapi. So when we start telling them all those kind of things, these girls get confused. And when it comes to
hiyo jina inaitwa lumbia.
Yes.
Ndio mnaitanga lips, lower lips.
Sijui kama nani Nyokabi uko na hiyo nini damu yote tuoneshe.
Haraka, kuna lower lips, upper lips, twende.
Ati kuna lower lips na upper lips, sasa hata umefanya zi evaporate.
Okay, sawa. As they evaporate, let Catherine finish her point so that we can do something different.
Yeah, my point was, as much as we want these adolescent girls to understand all these issues of how to enjoy their sexual pleasure, issues of masturbation, it is so hard kuwatoa in those cultures and to make the society understand that the girls are just being empowered, but not turning them to be bad people, not showing them or not teaching them the bad morals. So I agree with you everything completely, and I will invite you to Kakamega. You come and talk to our girls, and you see the setup of the rural Kakamega that I'm talking about. If these girls have those joints, we don't have those joints in the rural Kenya. Those joints haziko. So
hapana, wewe ushaenda date kwa kichaka wewe.
Haraka. Kichaka ni mbaya nani, hata nyoka mnogopa itawauma.
Wapi? Nyoka inatoka pangoni, wewe unaingia pangoni.
Na siafu wewe, siafu je?
Utasikilia mbele. Kuna utamu mwingine siafu inapotezwa. You don't feel it.
Nani? Usingoje siafu ikuume. Kwanza ikuume kwa nini? Kwa nani?
Sio nini. Iko na jina. And that's the problem. You see, that's why when we have our teenage girls coming to say nani amenifanya nini, no,
we don't
that's
say
why
nini.
they actually, you have to name it as it is. There's no shame in calling your body parts as they are. Let's not forget that. So finish inamuma wapi. I just wanted to get that clear.
Ifungwe. Tumesema tutasema pussycat. Tukisema pussycat watu wanaelewa.
Pussycat and doll. So thank you for the pussycat doll narrative. Now Nyokabi, nataka tusaidie wasichana ambao wako Gulf. Nimesikia wananunuanga mijeledi fulani wanatumia, such that by the time they come home, when you walk there, you are just like John Walker. They don't feel nothing. Talk about these kind of gadgets and when are they supposed to be used? I'm talking about the sexual toys.
Thank you for unmuting my mic once again. I want to talk about toys. Sexual toys are important, but I want to discourage teenagers and youths from using toys because they are not necessary. These 2 fingers are just enough. They are just enough to give you all the pleasure that you need. You don't need to put your test tubes in there. It's so risky to put your test tubes. You don't need to put your cucumbers in there. You don't need to put your carrots in there. And we started by saying this is a holy grail. The way you treat it is how people around you will treat it. You need to treat it with respect. You need to accord it the respect it deserves. You don't need to put a test book on Danny. And I've said that an orgasm, most of the times you will not experience an orgasm from penetration. You will experience an orgasm from just playing with this top part. Upper to this area itself, it will give you the orgasm that you so need and you so desire. As for this inside niya watu wa pornography, wamehype hiyo kitu sana. But there is an orgasm that you can get from it, but it requires a lot of build up and a lot of foreplay for you to experience that penetrational orgasm. Or your hormones, or you're pregnant and your whole body is sensitive, that's when you'll experience the penetration orgasm. So stop looking for the penetration orgasm as a teenager or as a youth. use this part and you don't need any toys. Now, for those who have access to the toys like me, as you can see, I have a toy myself. This toy, Ali, I'm surprised you haven't come back to confirm. So what you need to realize is that this
Nyokadi,
toy,
don't worry. I'm
yes,
reading notes. I'm reading notes. Don't worry.
yes, yes.
I'm reading
So
notes so that I can see you're telling the truth.
So
Go ahead.
this toy actually is a clitoris stimulator. It just stimulates the clitoris alone. I don't need to put it inside, just stimulates the clitoris. You experience the orgasm and then you move on from that. There are other toys that come in form of dildos. I used to have a dildo for demonstration. I don't know where it went. One of my teens stole it from me. So that dildo again is the one that you're supposed to use to penetrate because it has been made with a very nice material, a very nice fabric that is silicone, that is safe to use and that you can clean after you have used. So these toys that you're using, I want to speak about these toys that you're using. If it is not a proper sexual toy, if you have not invested in a proper sexual toy, please do not improvise. The only sexual toy that you need are your fingers. Even your fingers, you can use them to get you to that place of the come here motion if you really want to stimulate your G spot on the inside. But this outward stimulation should be enough for you. But if you want to invest in sexual toys, please buy toys that have good materials because as a woman, like I said, this is a very sensitive part of your body. It is inward and it's not outward. So you're likely to experience yeast infections. You start experiencing some smells coming from down there. Mpaka ukiwa umekaa huko mtu anashindwa what is that is smelling so badly. You're in a matatu and everybody is just scratching their face because of how badly it's smelling down there. So it is important that whatever you decide to put inside, number one, it's clean. Number two, it's made of the right material. Number three, it's an investment. So if you don't have the money to invest in a proper sex toy or dildo, please just use your fingers. They are enough to stimulate that. The other thing that you could use is a surface. For example, I could use a lipstick. A lipstick container would be perfect because it has that background you can use to stimulate your clitoris. That background, then you clean it after and you keep it for yourself because it's a sex toy, but it's not meant to be put inside. It's just to stimulate the clitoris so that you can experience
Ah,
the orgasm.
that is very important because there's a time I'm told kuna mtu alichukua kifuniko ya jik ama ni Starsoft and then they had to be operated on because it went South Coast.
Yes, so you don't use a small thing. You need to put something that you can properly hold with your hand like this on the outside. So even as you stimulate the clitoris, as you make the motions that you want to make to stimulate so that you can achieve orgasm, the item is still in your hands. And the minute you experience the orgasm, allow yourself to relax. Do not look for more. Do not try to put it inside yourself. Like I say, the vagina is a beautiful part of yourself. It's what makes you a woman. So you need to value it, you need to love it, you need to take care of it because it's a very important part of you as a lady. It's a very important part of you. So you don't go putting just anything and everything in there. And I remember one time I was doing a session with a man and I told men nobody puts fingers inside my vagina. And they asked me why. And I said, because I don't want you putting your dirty nails inside there. I don't want to tell you to go and wash your hands and clean your nails or cut your nails or manicure your nails. So in order to avoid that kind of a scenario, don't put your fingers inside there because I value that place. For me, it is a place that can really either make you feel good about yourself or make you have a very low self-esteem. And like Lukiani said, some of these gadgets, you use them so badly, they end up damaging the walls of your vagina. And you need to protect your walls as a woman. Even when you have a child, it's good to turn around and ask the doctor, wewe umerudisha huko vile ulikupata ama umekuacha kama kumekaa tu hivyo. Then after having the baby, you need to take care of yourself. Do what you need to do. Sit on hot water. Make sure that the place has healed properly and the tightness has come back because it's part of how the way you feel about yourself. It's part of who you are as a woman. So it's very important that you take care of what you put inside. Can you imagine? In my days za shule Lukuyani, girls used to use test tubes to
Sisi tulisikia kuna shule inaitwanga ati monkeys. Why? They use
yes.
bananas.
Yeah. Hebu imagine hiyo banana, hizo vitu zote, hiyo uchafu yenye kwa hiyo banana, that leaf can easily crash there. You have left pieces of the banana inside. Who is going to remove those things? That's why unaona watu wanaanza kufanya hii kitu inaitwa doshing. They splash water inside trying to clean the vagina. The vagina naturally cleans itself, and if you take care of it the right way, you do not need to do these extra things that our women are doing online, to clean their vaginas, to tighten their vagina. If you take care of yourself and you take care of it, and you watch who penetrates you, you will have a tight one for the longest time. Hata kama ukiwa shosho, you still
You
have a
know,
tight one.
behind everything you're saying, and I know
Yes.
Catherine has been waiting to give her point, but
Yes.
because I'm the only man representing the men generation in this topic, allow me to say this from the man's perspective. I have learned one important part,
Yes.
that the vagina yenyewe inajifanyia ile kitu, iko na
Yes.
recycle bin yenyewe.
Yes. It cleans
Number
itself.
two, it is the only place a man comes from and goes back
Yes.
seeking for pleasure. Anyway, who am I to say that? Catherine, what do you want to tell as we try to finish this topic? I know we have given you less time, but now it's your time. Ongea na wasichana wadogo.
I appreciate this time. It is not really less because Nyokabi is really teaching us a lot, and I'm happy that she's doing it practically. And naona kwa comments watu wengine wanasema this is too much, wengine wanasema sitacheka hapo.
Wacha nikuonyeshe, amenituma mahali. As you talk, you can also, take time and pleasure to refer. Kuna hii nini alinionyesha. Hiyo ndio team natural. Tuendelee. Go ahead as you describe these places.
Yeah, so I'm also happy the way amesema she doesn't encourage the teenagers to use the sex toys. Yeah, because for us, we tell them to try and delays having sex, whether it's, just delaying engaging in sexual activities, at least mpaka wamalize shule, because, sometimes teenagers can take their minds away, away from books when they find something else making their minds, when they get there is something engaging them. So and she has also talked about looking for the best material, because our vagina has a different pH and it can react on the materials that maybe somebody is inserting in. So what I will just tell the mothers who have teenagers here, because I know they are watching and they are listening, all the time they should understand their girls, especially when the girls have started experiencing the changing of their bodies, all those things. They should know their girls are now sexually active, and they should be free with them, talking to them, these kind of things. Because when these girls start exploring all these kind of things we are saying kwa internet, or kwa magazine somewhere, or from friends, or from the peers, or where they go to hang out, then it becomes something bad to them. Like it's a negative thing to them, because they will either be lured to bad things that they were not intending to, because somebody did not guide them well. So that is just what I will say. And I'll keep on emphasizing that I will still welcome Nyokabi to Kakamega and make her talk to my girls. I really like the way she's doing it practically.
If Nyokabi talks like this, it will not just the girls that will be talked to. I'm telling you, your room will be full of men pretending they have hearing problems, but wako pale ngangari. Now, I'm going to take a very quick vote for the 2630 of you watching right now. I want us to do this. If you feel what Nyakabi has said tonight has actually changed your perception about when and how to do or perform masturbation as a woman, tuandikie hapo hashtag in the comment section. Just call it safe masturbation. That is and if you agree with it, safe masturbation okay. That is how you're gonna write it. Simple like that. Hashtag safe masturbation okay. Then I want to read the comments because we've had a lot of them, Nyokabi. I can tell you for a fact. People love everything that deals with where Mother Nature takes care of them. So why don't we go to the comment section? Meanwhile, keep the hashtag following, and the hashtag is hashtag safe masturbation okay. If you agree with what Nyokabi said, and if you don't, just say safe masturbation or masturbation no. Hashtag safe masturbation okay? Twende kazi. I'm gonna read a few. I know Mrs. Kamau, sometimes you have problems reading on some screens, so let's see what they are saying here. And this is something I think you already handled. That is an Kipro Roda who says, "Why should it be so bad when my gun advises me to always masturbate to be more active in sex?" Kumbe hiyo kitu inasaidia vitu kukaa on the spot, huh? I didn't know, I didn't. Now I know. Oh, girl child, next time I find you doing it in your private confide, mimi sitakuuliza swali, nitakuuliza nikusaidie namna gani. Tuendelee kazi. Next we have let's see. Yes, binti Marian, as of now tumesema watu wafanye nini? Kamiti. Tuendelee kazi. Kwangu siwezi acha kunyonga by Joan Gitau. And I understand you, Joan, in the Gulf. We wish you well so that you can come to Kenya. Make sure that it stays in the moisturized position. So by the time you are appearing, you don't feel like people are splitting firewood and it's just the nature of coal. Twende kazi. Aya, wameambiwa hapa waache mambo ya pipe huko Hamam. It is not safe people when they sit on pipes, right? Nyokabi, I want to involve you in this discussion.
Yes,
It is
yes,
not
yes.
safe, so you have
It's
to
not
actually
safe.
use the safe toys or the most natural one. Let the fingers do the walking.
Ellie, before you go on that part of the pipe, may I create a caution for those people who just use just anything to put inside their
Do
vagina?
you want me to
The
bring up the image so that you can explain on it?
Yes, the
Probably.
inner part where you're seeing the vagina there, where you can see the vagina, the inner parts have very sensitive walling. The
Mhm.
outer labia also has very sensitive wallings. The skin there is very light and very sensitive. When you just put anything around that area, it can cause a lot of tearing. And when that place experiences tearing, because it's always damp and it's always wet, because the vagina cleans itself, is always cleaning itself, you're always experiencing vaginal discharges. It takes up a minute for it to heal. And when it is healing, you feel that irritation when you're going to pee, you feel that itchiness, and you want to put your hands down there to scratch, and you're not thinking about how clean your hands are. So if you don't take care of that part where you can see it's written the vagina, the wallings are very light. In fact, they are lighter than the skin that you see inside your nose, or lighter than the skin that you see above your tongue. So the materials you put in there need to be very friendly and kind to that area so that they don't cause tearing. And that's why you see, even when a penis penetrates you and you're not prepared and you're not properly lubricated, you end up experiencing a lot of tears. And those tears can actually become wounds, serious wounds that you require to go through a proper medical care for you to heal from those wounds. So let's restrain from using pipes, sijui cucumbers, sijui bananas. All those tools are not proper. If you really, really want to experience that penetration sensation, invest in a proper dildo. And if you can't invest in a proper dildo, just enjoy the orgasm that comes from just stimulating the clitoris. It's more than enough for any woman. Go on, Ellie.
Great, more than enough to any woman. I'm gonna
Yes.
take you back to the comment section, and guys, keep sending us your conclusion of this discussion. If you agree and you have actually learned something that is safe about masturbation, just type hashtag safe masturbation. Okay, and if you do not, we cannot convince everybody to do what is not in their right mind. Okay, just say safe masturbation okay if you agree, and if you do not, say masturbation no. Hashtag safe masturbation okay. Tuendelee kazi. I will flip through most of the comments, if not all. And Nyokabi, I think you are having a lot of fans here, especially the ladies. They are loving you. This is
No,
very
thank you.
great. Zena Kapaip, okay. I think they are responding to one another. There's
Yes.
this one from Lillian Karanja who says, especially for us ladies working in these Gulf countries. And that's true because I'm told they actually get some strange jobs to make them a little bit docile so that damu isiwasumbue. And I don't know
Yes.
Nyokabi if you agree with this treatment or not, or if they should just be told ndio hiyo room yako wewe jisaidia ukimaliza toka next. This
Let
is
me say, let me talk about what Lillian is saying, that they have a very hard time. Let me say, when you, as a woman, when you interfere with your body, either through contraceptives, the use of contraceptives, or through those jabs that lower your libido, it has a long-term effect on your weight. It has a long-term effect on your weight. It has a long-term effect on your ability to conceive and to carry a baby to full term. It has a long-term effect on your libido and your performance sexually. So you need to allow the your natural uh, your natural way of sexuality to actually happen. And that's why we are enlightening people about masturbation. When you're going through, because women experience horniness 3 times in a month, three actually, and some experience twice and some experience once. So in
Kwani
that
ni
time when
Panadol?
yeah, so when
One times
experience
three. Ama three
one
times
times
one.
three mara tatu tu kwa mwezi, if you can just learn how to properly stimulate yourself and experience that orgasm, you will not need to use any other drug, because once you affect your hormones as a woman, it will affect your mood, the way you are. It affects your weight. It affects your ability to conceive and carry a pregnancy to term. It affects a lot about your physical appearance. It affects your skin. You start experiencing skin breakouts and you have so many pimples. So it really affects you when you introduce the wrong things into your body. Allow your body. Your body has the ability to actually do those things for you. And there's a program I have that talks earlier. I think we'll do a show on that. That is called seed cycling. That you cycle food that helps you to balance your hormones, that helps you to regulate and balance your hormones, and you stay in tune with your hormones. So I really discourage the use of anything, any jabs tafadhali. Tuachane na mashindano, tuachane na hizi madawa za wazungu. Thank you.
The
Continue.
only Dindano you must get is that one of Dr. Ringding. It's not me who
Yeah,
said, it's a musician.
shindano, doshi.
Eh, and then again, there is this one. I think you already addressed it, but thank you so much,
Yes.
Kiproroda, for your comment. This has been addressed with when it deals with what type of dildo or sex toy you have to use for that
Yes.
matter. And then we have quite interesting, and guys, I cannot take all of every single comment you made. I will brush through a few of them so that
Yes.
nobody feels left out. If I already screened your message, I cannot screen all of them. So let's see. And somebody here was telling me this. Edwin Aboko, is this is very personal, but I still agree. He's the only man who was watching and courageous enough to actually comment and say, if this is how I followed the chemistry class, whoa, lo, 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 lo. But guess what? I did not pass my chemistry because there was too much Bunsen burner and things to use. But go and look at my biology paper. I'm a practicing physician, just in case you didn't know. Then yes, this one Marianne was asking. I mean, Mariam Binti Mariam was asking about the gloves, and yes, that is it. We know why now. We have to make it very clean, and there is here an interesting one watching us on YouTube, and of course we are actually streaming this onto YouTube. So in case you haven't subscribed to the channel, head there, subscribe. I'll give you the handles after this. Or of course, just search the Arts in Heart. And it's as easy as that. 1, 2, 3, subscribe and set the notification button on. We have okay. We have Shish Winnie who says, "Wamebrush meno na ulimi." Aki, please. Okay. So we, I know that's supposed to be a funny one, right? Uh, and you know, Nyokabi, I will take you on another one, and I know Catherine wants to leave the stage because I can see the way she's looking at me. But you didn't talk about us helping you, because the only person that is lucky enough to actually know how they look like without struggling is a man. We just go somewhere, we drop things off, and then we look at ourselves and say, what a wonderful world. On the other hand, the lady cannot look at themselves unless they look some angle theta, to review the indexes. So why
Yes.
have you not talked about our very interesting? We just
Well,
talked
we were
about
talking.
this. You didn't talk about that, but I'll bring you to that. So,
Yes. The use of the
uh,
very important dildo.
yes, yes. So, yes, a lot of interesting messages coming through, and I appreciate all of you. Lilian Okendo amesema tumeita. Yes, that's for sure. Uh, Let me see. Kakamega kuna Muliro Gardens. Yeah, That's also a place where people have been doing that. For the people who know about the history of Muliro Gardens, it's an interesting story on the bench to follow. Not that one of JKL, but that's the bench in Kakamega. Catherine is conversant with that. Let's see. There are a lot of messages, guys. I am trying my best to make sure that everybody's there. Another man, at least I'm looking for the men, the male gender, these sons of Adam who have been silent, watching like the silent listener. You know, in every Catholic house, when you walked in, there was the silent listener in every table. So this
Yes.
is sijacheka, najua leo nikileta upusa hapa naweza pokea hata kichapo. Yes, the ladies are busy here, so you don't bring your najua ujuaji hapa. So let's go to the hashtag, find out what the vote is saying so far. We have a hashtag there. Susie loves Susie. Thank you, Kiproroda. Okay, sijaona hashtag yako pole. That was not supposed to be. Womanizer is supposed to be actually a vibrator. I don't know if Nyokabi you are about that because she's really insisted on that. If you have notes on that, I will ask you to bring them on. Then we have Wesley Edmonds who says, and this is also a gentleman who says self masturbation. Okay, amesema atasaidiwa kazi. Lily Jacobs, self masturbation. Okay. We have Joan Gitao. Okay. We have I fear doing it. Lillian says she fears doing herself. Actually, if you are fearing this enough, probably because of where you come from or what you believe in, this is something that has been addressed in this program, and you feel you need more guidance. You feel you're not obliged. Speak to the sex expert and relationship coach, Nyokabi Kamau. We have Nancy Magan. Thank you so much for watching. She says safe masturbation. Okay. And then just like that, my messages decided to go to where they are going. I'm still looking for the vote. There's no so far. There is no, everybody is saying yes, yes, yes. And I think it brings us to a conclusion, Nyokabi, that as
Mm.
much as we want to hide from this and make it a taboo, it is
Yes.
actually happening in the society. And
Yes.
safety is an important part of it.
Mhm.
As we conclude this topic tonight, what are the takeaways that you want to bring in, Catherine?
Takeaways that I would want to bring in is I would want to talk to everyone. Like, if you feel you're addicted, because maybe Nyokabi did not talk about issues of addiction so much. If you feel you're addicted to maybe masturbation, there is something else you can do for it not to be an addiction to you. You can look for something that makes you feel happy. You can have a walk. You can go out with your friends. You can read a book. If you are a good writer, you can write an article. Making yourself busy for you not to be addicted too much to it. So tackling that part of addiction is what I can tell people to think about.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. And Nyokabi, you want to give your takeaway out of this session?
Yes, I want to
Sorry
support
about that.
what.
This is
Yes,
Nyokabi Kamau. Go ahead, Nyokabi, please.
I just wanted to join hands with Catherine talking about because talking about addiction. And addiction is a serious illness. It's something that you have to come to terms with. You have to come to agree with that you are addicted. But how do you know that you're addicted? You know that you're addicted if this action prevents you from doing your normal activities or your daily activities. That's how you know you're addicted. If you can't go a day without actually participating in masturbation, then you're experiencing what is called sexual addiction. If you are with a partner and you still don't feel satisfied, you still go ahead and masturbate before and after the actual physical sexual interaction with another person, then it means that you're experiencing effects of masturbation. And how do you come out of that masturbation? You first of all acknowledge that you're in an addictive state. Number two, you refrain yourself from doing it as much as you can. What happens with smokers is, if you're a smoker and you're an addict of smoking, is that you reduce the number of times that you smoke. It is more effective to deal with addiction that way. You just reduce the number of times that you do masturbate in a day. If you masturbate 3 times, you reduce to 2 times. If you masturbate 5 times, you reduce to 3 times. And within time, if you're intentional and purposeful about it, you find that you have reduced and you're reducing the effects. Alternatively, you can speak to a professional, either a relationship coach like me, or you can reach out to a counselor who can help you go through the program of coming out of addiction or masturbation addiction. Now, I want to mention the benefits of masturbation, just to put them out there so that you can know the benefits that are there for those who demonize masturbation. So masturbation helps you to relieve built up stress. If you're going through stress and you're just feeling, you don't know why you're feeling the way you do, an orgasm will help you relieve your stress. It will help you sleep better as a lady. If you're experiencing insomnia and you're tossing and turning in your bed, masturbating will actually leave you feeling, when you experience an orgasm, every part of your body just explodes. So you're likely tired and you're more likely to fall asleep. It will boost your moods when you're sexually satisfied and you're happy. So if you and your partner have been fighting and you don't know what you're fighting over, you probably need to go to the room and lock the door and sort each other out. And tomorrow you'll be in a better mood. It makes you feel more relaxed when you masturbate. It gives you pleasure that you didn't know, and it gives you a self-discovery journey. You begin to understand yourself sexually more. It relieves cramps. If you're going through menstrual cramps, it relieves you. It helps you relieve your cramps. It relieves sexual tension. So if you're feeling so horny and probably you don't have a partner who you can be intimate with, masturbating will help you relieve that sexual tension that you're having. It will help you have better sex. How will it help you have better sex? When you know yourself and you know which parts give you pleasure and you know what makes you feel good, then it will help you it will help your sexual experience. And it's also a good journey to go with your spouse. It's a good journey to go with your partner as you masturbate together. You don't have to masturbate alone. You can be vulnerable with your partner and masturbate together and work together as you try to discover what works best for you. And lastly, as I finish, it will help you better understand yourself and help you better understand your wants. And it will help you realize that sometimes these 3 seconds is not really worth it. The risk that are involved is not really worth it. And you can actually achieve what you're desiring alone by yourself, locked up in your room, and you achieve it, and tomorrow you're okay and you can move on you can move on with your daily lives normally, happy. Tomorrow you're happy. Yes. And please be careful with everything. Too much of anything is dangerous. It doesn't matter whatever it is. If you take too much water, you'll have issues with your livers and your kidney. If you take too much tea, you will have a headache when you don't take the tea. You'll be addicted to the caffeine. If you take too much alcohol, you will be addicted to alcohol. So if you do too much of masturbation, ladies, you will be addicted to that masturbation. The objective here is to understand yourself sexually, and so that you can be able to share that experience with your partner. It's not for you to keep it as a secret that you make up umejifichia, you only know how to climax by yourself. It's important that you involve your partner so that it helps your sex life be more enjoyable and be more interactive and be more fulfilling and satisfying for the both of you. So it's a good tool if it is used the right way. Back to you, Ellie.
Thank you so much, Nyokabi. Ladies, you had it. Gentlemen, you equally learned it. But as we conclude, allow me to introduce our guests so that in case you want to get in contact, you can be able to know where and how to find them. I'll start with you, Catherine, and kindly reintroduce yourself correctly.
Okay. Yeah, so my name is Catherine Osita. I'm a programs manager at Rural to Global Organization. You can follow my organization on Facebook at Rural to Global Organization. We are on Twitter at Rural to Global. We are on Instagram at Rural to Global. And we are based in Kakamega. And our CBO is women and girls-led organization that empower girls on issues of sexual reproductive health, on issues of economic empowerment and SGBV, all those ones. So I would want people to follow me. Kindly, please visit our page, like it. You can also support us. For those who are in Kakamega, visitors, come and see what we're doing with our girls. They need you people. They need your support. Yeah. So my number, they can see or can I say my number?
It's quite visible on the screen. However, that
Okay,
is
it's
plus
visible.
254 727 880812, and you
Yes.
can reach them on email. That is at sorry, that is rural global. So say
Rural
that
to
again.
global, rural to
Yeah,
global org at gmail.com
yes, that is rural to global uh,
organization.
org at
Mm-hmm.
gmail.com. Thank you so much, Catherine, for coming tonight. And
Thank you.
the lady that knows sex more than any other man on earth. What do you want to say?
First of all, I don't know sex like any other man on earth. I just have done a lot of research on it. My name is Nyokabi GK Kamau, and I'm a relationship coach. And all my social media platforms is Nyokabi GK Kamau. I am on Facebook. Follow me, Nyokabi GK Kamau. I'm on Instagram, Nyokabi GK. I am on Telegram. I am on LinkedIn, all those social media platforms. You can find me, Nyokabi GK Kamau. If you have any questions, I suggest you reach out to me on Facebook and just DM me and let me know your questions. Kindly just get directly to the point. Say, hi, Nyokabi, my name is so and so. I need you to assist me with 1, 2, 3 things, then I'll be able to respond as swiftly as possible. Remember to follow, remember to like, remember to leave a comment. Ellie, come and help me do this thing.
Great,
Ellie,
great, great,
bring
great,
yourself
great.
back.
Well, these things happen, and Yokabi, I mean, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Yes.
In case you are joining this cast, I'm telling you, you missed out a lot, but guess what? We got you covered because you can always hit back the replay option, and of course, head to YouTube and like the page, which is rather the channel, which is the Arts in Heart official. Okay, take note of the spelling or the wording. No separation, it's one word. The Arts in Heart, and then official, the Arts underscore in Heart, and then definitely on Facebook, which is the Arts in Heart, or easily type in Likuyani Eli, and definitely you get us there. Well, in case you are still watching this cast, because I see a lot of you online, remember this is a weekly or a midweek show. We only do this specific show about relationships and matters that deal with everything on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Tuesdays we focus on men, and on Wednesday it is ladies' night, of course. And where there's a lady, it involves men. So be part of the cast. On Fridays, we have the Art in Art official show. And this show, ladies and gentlemen, moving into the month of March, will no longer be aired on my private page or group, will only be aired on our page. So hit the like button, follow us, and that is the handle. The Arts in Heart, or simply type in Likuyani Eli. That's the Facebook page. Nirudie hapo ama bado? Type in the Arts in Heart and you get us there. And of course, if Facebook is not your thing, because sometimes it happens and you want to spend more time with family, because in case you are watching, then somebody sends you a message that looks like what Nyokabi was talking about, you can get us the same stream, same time on YouTube, the Arts in Heart official. So, ladies and gentlemen, it has been my pleasure to talk to you about live pleasures behind secret doors. And what more can I say? To everybody that watched, that is Kipro, Rhoda, Martina Sitiba, Shishwin, James, Binti, Mariam, Lilian Okendo, Susie loves Susie. Susie loves Susie, yes. And Alolo, Raquel, Binti, yeah, and every other person, including Edmonds that was there earlier on, Edwin Aboko, and every single person that participated. It has been my pleasure to host you. Guess what? Tonight, in case she just turned day 12 after, things happened, man, it is your time. Let the fingers do the walking. Till next time, my name is Lukiani Eli, and this, ladies and gentlemen, it is the night edition.